So how are you doing, babe?
How are you doing?
I'm actually doing good. I'm gonna give like a quick intro. So this is the fifth time you're on, right?
I think so.
Because
Last time we were it was Mark, you and me.
yeah, it was and I thought it was the first. No, that's not the first time I did like 3, but I think that's the first time you were like involved with. Also, I had another person.
Yep.
When we were talking.
Yep.
So how is everything though?
What do you mean?
Like how's everything going?
Oh, it's going good. And actually, my idea was to now make this like, how are you?
How me? Oh, so you're interviewing me?
Kind of, but you still have to do the introduction because I don't get paid.
No, it's all right. No, but still, like on the title of this, the video, it's still gonna be you. I usually always put like, for example, Vermilion Unplugged, episode whatever, and then I put the name of the guest, and then after that, I put like, I don't know, usually like the topic or what we're discussing. That's the new thing I've been doing. So yeah, I didn't even notice that you had like a piece of paper.
I always do.
What is it?
Except when we did it with Mark, but I usually do.
So, well, let's get it going. So what do you want to discuss about?
So I asked first, how are you?
So far, I'm doing okay. No, honestly, I'm doing fine. Usually I get that stress, especially like now about, for example, I won't talk about too much, the house thing. Sometimes it just stresses me out. And I've heard about it. If people, I've heard that buying a house is like, could be stressful. And I heard building a house is stressful. I never knew about that. I thought it was something they exaggerate. I thought it was make fun. It's going to be like, you buy something, you put it together. No, it is completely different.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially, I think the hardest part, it's not even like a money thing. The hardest part is like the decisions, because you got 2 people, especially when you're married. Like this is what I think about marriage so far. I like it, I enjoy it, but something that I've learned is, man, you will not, there's going to be a lot of disagreement. There's stuff that you and your spouse will not agree on. And that is like one of the, I think it's very difficult. I don't know if people.
That's why it is important to keep open communication and like just get to the base. Like, it's not me against you, it's us against this problem. Sometimes the problem is going to be put in the table by you, and sometimes the problem is going to be put in the table by your spouse. So you gotta understand, like, see it in front of you, both of you, and say, here is the problem. Not saying like, oh, that's your problem. No, here is the problem. What are we going to do about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
That's what I think.
No,
also, I'm not an expert. I've only been married once.
I was on a trip. Not on a trip. It wasn't even a trip today. So, Dana, she's our daughter. If people hear me, her name is Victoria. I've mentioned on the show, but also in person, some people they'll hear me say Dana. It's her middle name. I think it's very common in, I don't know if it's like a Hispanic thing or a Mexican culture thing, but usually saying like the middle names.
I think it was more like my fault, because Victoria, when you showed the name on Spanish, is Vicky, and I hate it.
You don't like Vicky?
No. So when people will say, oh, Vicky, no, Victoria. If you want a short name, is Danae.
Yeah. See, like my full name, I'm going to say the whole thing. It's Jose Raul Lira Lopez.
No. What is on your birth certificate? That's the whole thing.
I think it's just Jose Raul Lira. I don't know if the junior is on there, because I am a junior.
I don't know if it's on there, but like here, you don't use the both last names. It's only that last name, which is the family last name.
Yeah. So, hey, did you know? You probably know. So when, like, for example, let's say in Mexico, like, if we got married over there and we lived over there, you would be Rios de Lira, right?
No, I will keep my last name. That's not common anymore.
Not anymore? It used to be then, right?
It used to be like a long time ago, but then I don't even know when it changed. I don't even know if it changed or it was like you can ask for them to add that, like, off my husband. But you keep your name.
Oh.
You keep yours, I keep mine. And then when the kids are born, then it's a mix where your first last name goes first.
Yeah.
And then my first last name goes second.
Because my mom would mention that years ago about the part. No, was my dad. It was one of them. They mentioned that, and I was like, "Deh." And then but I think also it might have messed up. Like I think it's writing on birth certificate because, for example, like how my mom is Lopez de la Torre, or like her family or other last name is de la Torre. Technically, it would have been Torre, but I guess you kind of feel
I
me on
don't
that.
think so. I understand what you mean, but I don't think so because there is last names that are composed like that one, like De La Torre is a last name. So, for example, if your dad will be De La Torre too, it will be De La Torre de la Torre.
Because I just saw, Miguel Ibarra from Mars and his wife Andrea. It says I think her last name is Garcia, but it says Garcia de Ibarra. It was on Facebook though. But,
so that's what I was going to say next. Like it used to, and it might be common still in certain places, but it's more like a mannerism to talk. Like if we were in a small town like here, but down there in Mexico, they will say, "Oh, that's Mayra de Jose." Not because that's my name. It's because that's the way that they will identify me. Like I'm your wife.
Yeah.
Kind of like appropriate. I don't really get too much into it. I don't think it's sexist. I don't think it's like bad. I just think
It's like just a
it's
tradition
a way to
thing.
talk.
It's just because hey, she's mine. It's not like it's not like oh man, proper. I understand
it's just to identify. Like I understand is that way. So it might be that way. How is it going? Because I don't even think it was a thing. Like on the birth certificate or like in the marriage certificate, you will put like de Lira. In my case, I think you like in our town they will just say, "Oh, that's Mayra de Jose or Mayra de Lira," but I think on our marriage certificate it will be still your last name and my last name.
Yeah. Speaking of some of the names, I've had different names. So like my first name is Jose or Jose. So like for example, it would be school or even like here or friends, so they would just call me Jose. In my family, so like for example, my cousins, but here or here in the States, they would call me Raulito because my middle name is Raul, but it was Raulito, like it's like little Raul.
Diminutive.
Yeah. And over there in like when we go to Mexico, before most people they would call me Jose Raul. When my dad over there in Mexico, they call him Raul. So I don't know why it's like that. And then also a common thing. And this is not it's not even a Hispanic thing. I think it's anywhere. A nickname. My nickname, if people do want to know, and no one's said it here in South Dakota, but it's more common where with family and everything, especially close friends. It's spoil, and pollo means like chicken or little chicken.
It's kind of ghetto in Mexico.
The pollo part.
The pollo nickname, because there is there is a lot of pollos in Mexico, like nicknames, and usually in my mind I associate those with like cholos.
See, I remember I've seen like a lot of people like nicknames. I remember there's this guy when I used to play baseball after high school. His name was, they called him El Lobo, the wolf. He was amazing. He was great. He was an amazing fan. He would
like that nickname is pretty cool. Like it looks tough.
Yeah. There's also another one. My tío Juan, his one of his closest friends. Yeah. So I have an uncle. His name is Juan. My tío Juan. They call him.
It's Jose Juan.
Oh, it's Jose Juan. Jose Juan. Jose Juan. Yeah, it is Jose Juan. His nickname is El Cañón, which means the cannon, because he was a professional baseball player down there, and back in the day he would throw real hard, so that's why they call him El Cañón, because he had a cannon for an arm. But one of his friends, he also played baseball too down there. They called him El Pato, which means the duck.
And if you think about it, in Mexico, it's more common that your nickname has something to do with your how you look.
Yeah.
So it's pretty offensive sometimes. So in Mexico, you wouldn't call someone their nickname unless you are a very close friend, because, for example, it will be like El Gordo, which is the fat, Oh, I want to think about something else. Like
There's another one. I'll throw one in. He's not a family member. I think he's a friend. No, he's probably a cousin of my cousin, but we're not related. They call him negro.
negro. Yeah, for
Negro
example,
means
that would be
black.
really offensive here
Mm.
if you call somebody de negro.
Yeah.
And I think in Mexico it is too. Como like prieto will be kind of the similar negro.
Yeah, dark.
Yeah, but it will be offensive if you approach someone by their nickname, unless they are like famous and that's their artistic name.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that in Mexico
Yeah.
because you kind of can get in trouble because it has something to do with your like. I feel like in Mexico we put a last name with something that will hurt you the most until it doesn't hurt anymore. But still, you want to let somebody else that is not your friend call you that way. Like, for example, you have here not my siblings, not all of them. It's Armando, the one that calls me like gato, like cat.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it when you hear that? Like, why do you think
They call
el
you
gato?
gato?
Yeah.
They call you gato or gata?
Gato.
Gato?
Sometimes they say gata,
Yeah.
but mostly it's gato.
I don't know. I would think about maybe your features, your eyes.
Yeah.
Because you got big eyes. Is that why?
No.
What would you do?
I didn't do anything. So this is really bad. And I want to say, like, it's nothing you should do. I'm not recommending, but and it's changing now. So people that will help you, like somebody that will clean your house or somebody that will do your errands. Usually it's people like lower class because, you know, they need the money. And that means that you are in a better status. Anyways, it's an offensive way to call them, but they will say, el gato. Tell el gato to do it. Like send the gato to bring something. So it's a way, like a despective way to treat somebody that is below you. And so that nickname comes from when I was working in a place that now I think it was really bad paid and it was like really long hours. So the girl, it was a couple. So the girl was my friend, or that's what I thought she was. So I think they will use that friend thing to kind of exploit me. So a way that my brother will say like, "Hey, you are stupid because you are letting them treat you that way," and I will be like, "Oh no, I don't mind. They are my friends." Will say like, "You are tú eres el gato," and like to say you are the favorite worker, it will be gato de Angora, which is those really fluffy cats that are really cute. So it has a background, and again, I come to say like it's for what offends you the most until it doesn't offend you anymore. Like for now, if they even my mom will say like, "Oh, Armando said to say hi to el gato," so it doesn't offend me, but it comes from something that at the beginning was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or like even with them, they have some. We all have nicknames in my family, and weirdly, we are all animals. So my sister is Elefante, it's elephant. My older brother is Lassie, and Lassie doesn't sound like an animal until you know that was our pet. It was a female dog.
Yeah, because there's a movie, Lassie. It's also with the dog.
Yeah, it was a German Shepherd, and she was a really good dog. So we will say that he was the favorite kid in our family. So since Lassie was a really good dog, my brother Armando will say, "You are a good dog." So he will say like, "You are Lassie," because he was the one that behaved the most between the both of them. So
Antonio?
Yeah, Toño.
Oh, Toño.
Toño is Lassie.
Oh, then what's Armando?
He is Doña Puerca.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And my parents are dinosaurios.
Yeah.
So they are dinosaurs because my brothers will say like they are too old school. They are dinosaurs.
Yeah. To celebrate our first year anniversary on March 1st, we are giving away a $50 Visa gift card. Head to the link in the description to enter, and winner will be announced on March 1st. See, once you have, I'm telling you, if you're gonna give a nickname to like your kid or you want a nickname, be careful because it will stick forever.
You gotta earn it and make sure to earn it good and to be proud of it. Because if you hear even like I hear a lot of, or I consume a lot of comedy, especially from Mexico. If you hear their story, all the nicknames come from something hurtful, and all of them will tell you like, "Oh, I used to hate it so much," and then now it's part of them. So
Yeah,
I think that's something. I don't know if it's cultural, but at least in Mexico, it's like when I heard you, it's like tough love, kind of.
I get it.
Anyways,
All right, go. Let's
so
go with your questions.
what do you do? Like I feel like you usually ask this to
Yeah.
people. So now it's your turn. What do you do?
What do I do? I'm gonna tell you what I tell people because they ask me
No,
that.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
I'm gonna tell you
What do you do?
exactly. I'm gonna tell you what I say.
Okay.
Usually, I would be like, I don't know what I do because I would now I do because at work. This is what I do for work right now. I work at USD. I work at that med school, and there's a little program called BRIN, and I'm just like they call it. I have a weird title because it says like research associate, but I don't do research anymore. It was like a hybrid position, so now it's like a type of program assistant or secretary, whatever this and that. But like the main job because we're still trying to figure it out is I just place orders, answer emails, I help with like budgets, I try to try to get.
So you are el gato there.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Hey, my boss,
no, just kidding.
Dr. Huber. Hey, whatever he tells me what to do, I'll do it. If he tells me go wash my truck, I'll go do it. No, he doesn't. He hasn't told me that. He's actually really cool. He's a really cool boss. But that's what I do now. Because because people always ask me what I do. Before that, I was working at it was Dr. Wong's lab. Same thing was at the med school. So I was a research. I'm a technician. It was fun because it was like heart research. I worked with animals, with mice. I would do like it could be like some surgeries or experiments, or that stuff was fun. It was tiring. It was kind of stressful, but I had a blast. I'm really into like the science stuff, and I think that's where I started
Biology.
learning. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. I do miss it sometimes only because the mice, man, like I'm telling you.
You miss the mice?
I don't miss the mice that much. I'm gonna tell you something though. So I guess I don't know if I have to say I'm not speaking for all of South Dakota or USD. I'm speaking of me, okay? It's me. So we would do experiments like let me start from the beginning. So there's these mice, and I think any lab can have them, not just USD. It's when they do like research with mice. There's a bunch of mice. They got different like genes or this and that, whatever. But someone has to like kind of maintain and breed them. So that's also another part I did. I had to breed them, this and that. It's very interesting. And but these mice sometimes, like when they're young, when they give birth, there's to identify them, we would clip their fingers. Yeah, the fingers or their toes when they're young. There's a protocol. You can't do it. You can't do it when they're too young because they're like still kind of webbed. You can't do it when they're older because the bone already grows and I guess it's like
hurts.
Yeah, it would hurt them because it's grown bone. I think it was 6 to 9 days if I remember right. And that part, it's easy peasy. The weaning, so I think when they reach day 21, you have to separate them because you can't. So they stay with their mom. Usually the mom and the dad, or just sometimes the mother, they're in a cage. And I think depending on weight, if they're adults, they're females, you can usually have 4, sometimes 5, because they're usually lighter. If it's males, it's usually 4, or if they're more of the heavy side, it's usually 3, because they have that ARC. Yeah, they're the ones that they tell us what to do. Because I'm telling you, it's not just let me have animals. No, it's very like they keep that. It's very strict. It's not a right. It's like a privilege.
Take care of them.
Yeah, you're doing experiments. And that's the same thing. If you're going to do an experiment, you got to like submit all this stuff.
You know how I see that? And I see it not only on that. I see that on hunting too. When you hunt and then eat what you hunt, like it's like an homage. Homage.
Yeah.
It's like they are helping you to achieve something. Like you gotta treat them with respect.
I had a bad view on hunting before coming here because I didn't understand it. And I'll go to that issue before. Oh, was that?
I think it's still there has to be a bad view, but on furtive hunting.
Yeah. So this is before I get to the hunting part. This is what I've noticed, and I've been thinking about this lately. I think it's when Brock mentioned it. Brock was talking about because he was on the episode we were talking about I think gun rights, and he said like people, for example, I won't go political. He said like people in Congress, they're giving like these rules or laws, but they don't understand it, and that's what I've been thinking. Not the gun part, but like what he was saying. Like if you have this certain view on it could be any topic, but do you understand it? Sometimes you got to be in there or interact with those people. I had the same thing with animal experiments too. In the beginning, I wasn't for it. This was when I was younger. But for example, like the hunting, I wasn't too much of a fan because I was thinking, oh, they're hunting, it's murder. You don't have to do that. Like, what's the point? You don't need to do it nowadays. Same thing. Maybe I was looking more on like the poaching side, especially with when they do it in Africa or stuff like that.
Yeah, like when they get the rhinos only for their horn or stuff like that.
Until we came here, I've heard about people hunting. I'm like, there's no reason to hunt. Why do you have to hunt? But I don't want to go too much into detail, but they use like, for example, the deer. They use like the whole entire deer.
Yeah, it's not like just for fun. Like, haha, I kill it. You still eat it.
Yeah, it's probably something I didn't understand it because usually I would see people, they post their stuff, their whatever on their animal. I'm like, that's just kind of cruel. But now understanding, I mean, it's kind of like, hey, I did this, because I'm guessing it's not as easy as people think. It's not like, oh, there's a deer, boom. No, because you got to go maybe like a few hours. You got to hide, you got to this. And they're trying to get like one shot. You're not trying to make it suffer.
And also, I think that's in us. Like, like it's that kind of primate sense that
primal instincts
that I got my food.
Yeah.
I think so. That's where the satisfaction comes from. It's not the cruelty. It's not like you enjoy killing the animal. It's more like it's a whole thing, I think.
Maybe when you do something and you achieve it, then you're like, hey, I did that.
Yeah, even if it looks like nothing for the world, when you have that personal win.
Yeah. It's those accomplishments, because it could be the same exact thing it could be hunting, or it could be like, hey, maybe you built something by yourself, or like, you're like, hey, I did that. Or if you make, for example, we talk about food, like you make this awesome, it could be a dessert or bread or like a dish, and you're like, hey, and it tastes good. You're like, I did that. So it's probably it could be the same thing. Like, hey, I went hunting, I did this, and I got the kill. It's
you put in the work and you go rewarded because you put in the work.
Yeah. I believe that. What else do you got?
So kind of, you told us what you do. What would you say? So if money wasn't a factor, an important one, I know it's important, but I feel like we're privileged to still kind of choose what to do. Like we're not a slave. We have to work. But anyways, taking that from the side, if money wasn't an important factor in your life, what would you be doing now?
Like right now, what would I be doing?
Right now, like with your life.
I understand the part. What would I be doing right now if money wasn't an issue? Like I could do anything I want.
If it wasn't a factor. Let's say you're still getting paid.
Yeah.
But now you're doing what you would like to do.
I would probably I would be doing what I'm doing now, except the work part. I probably wouldn't be at work. USD, apologize. But I would probably like, hey, maybe do this, continue it, because I find it fascinating. Like just learning about different people, because everyone has like same thing. Like I have it on my post or whatever, and it's because Brenda, she's the one that told me. She's like, everyone has a story, and you get to learn. Because before, I feel like everything has changed. Or not everything. I feel like I've changed a bit since coming to South Dakota. I don't know why though, because I have a very bad first impression on people. And I will admit, I'm a horrible judge of character.
That's why they say you don't judge a book by...
Yeah, exactly.
How do you say in English?
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really horrible at that. Like if I see someone, and this happens all the time because I mentioned it, I am like 99% wrong. And I say you're like 99% right most of the time.
Yeah, that's why when I do something wrong, you cannot shut about it.
I know, I keep that. Because when I see people and I just, just seeing them, maybe how they, I'm not talking about skin color, like what they look like, how their lifestyle is. I'm like, wow. First thing I would see is like, hey, they probably had like the best life ever. Everything's going great. I wish I had that. And it's not like that. And I've mentioned it. I think I was talking to, I don't know if it was Brock. No, I think maybe I was talking to Jim about it. I just recently did one with him about I had a bad impression, for example, the church. The people at the church, I'm going to say that. The people at Hillside. Telling you, Hillside's not a sponsor. I mention this all the time. I had a very
They
bad,
could be.
like, hopefully, I had a very bad impression. I would have thought, and I don't know why it is, and I feel like it continues on. Like I would see them, like for example, I see them like all happy and this and that. I'm like, wow, they have same thing, like the best life, nothing bad ever happened. I don't know why I always think that until you get to know them, like, and not just talking about at the church. It could be anyone. Like, I'll mention it. Actually, I will. Mary and Dwayne, the first time we met them, I think we met them at the Global Friends Park one time. Remember Mary?
Yes, right across the street from where we live.
Yeah, years ago, we were about to head home, and then Mary stopped us and said, "Hey, you want to
Join?
Yeah, join?" And I had a bad impression because if I'm gonna be honest, I was thinking, why? Because we look different? Because it was a Global Friends thing. They had like different things going on. Because she mentioned Global Friends, I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I think I also had a bad impression about. Have you heard about like they call it the white savior complex?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter. You could be any color. I think I had that impression. Say, oh, why? You don't think I can do it? But no, you get to learn about the story, like especially like Mary and Dwayne. They've been to like first. I was thinking they don't know nothing about international students. I don't know why I thought that. Oh, because I thought that because of the way they look. But no, they've been to Bangladesh since they were like younger.
So
they did mission.
you were afraid, or you would have found that they were judging you the way you look, but it was you the one that was judging them.
Yeah, I'm a bad.
I want to say in that, like, I don't want to interrupt you too much, but have you ever heard about metaphysica? I don't know what's the translation in English.
Metaphysics.
Yes. So one of the rules is as it is outside, it's inside. So I kind of feel like that was a reflection of you. Like you were reflecting on them, what was inside of you.
You think so?
You get me? I think just like the way that you picture it is a perfect example. Like you were mirroring what you were feeling and kind of putting onto them. Like, oh, yeah, you're judging me the way I look. That's why you approach me. But you were judging them for the way they look.
Yeah.
They were not doing that to you.
Yeah. I don't know why that's happened too. Because now after, for example, like Dwayne and Mary, amazing people. One of the best people I've known.
I want to say, I think that's normal. I think we all do it. But not all of us stop and think why I am thinking that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
But everyone does.
I do think about that. I think about like why I don't think I do it too much. Maybe in my mind, but like before, especially, and I talked to Jim about it too. If people were, it's probably like a rehash when we were coming up here. When we drove, we saw Confederate flags, Trump things, Trump all this and that, and the first impression I had was, oh man, all these people. Oh no. First impression I had was people that own, for example, like Confederate flags or Trump flags or this and that. They're all racist. They all hate me. And that's not true.
I even think I saw a lot of Confederate flags. I saw a lot of American flags.
Oh, I saw a few. The first thing is like, I don't know why there's some Confederate flags in the North. Because the Confederate, that's usually a south thing, a southern thing. But it was imprinted in my mind, or especially, and I'm not going to go into the politics stuff, but like if someone is like a Republican or a conservative, first thing I was like, man, they're either racist, they're rich, they have the perfect life, they hate every single person besides them. And that is not the case. Now, because I started interacting with them, and you learn different perspectives.
And I
it's
want
not
to
true.
say, without saying names,
Yeah.
it was also your surroundings. Because I noticed the people that you will talk the most with also had that impression.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
The person that, you know what, and you are right. That is true. The one person that told me that doesn't matter what they are is my dad. Because my dad, so my dad is he's an electrician. Now he's I guess a project manager.
He's still in the same company,
same
but
company. He's moved up.
He moved
Yeah,
up.
he started,
a
man.
lot.
He started from the bottom. Yeah, and I remember, I think I was in, not middle school. I think I was probably a freshman or a sophomore. We were talking about something, and we mentioned, I think I talked about skin color, something like that. And he told me that it doesn't matter what their color is. Everyone's like the same. So, yeah, you know what? And yeah, you know what? I do remember another thing. I remember I was talking with a family member. I won't mention the name. I think there was like an issue that happened at my school. Nothing bad, but something happened. And the first thing she mentioned was, she says, "Were they white?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I remember her saying, "Oh yeah, because she said white people, this and that." But that's actually a bad thing, because actually you're the one judging and being.
It's exactly what I noticed when we moved here, because we were in a long distance relationship, and it was like 2 weeks. We were together, and then we moved here, so it was like really recent.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed when we moved here, like people surrounding you will have those views, and I remember sometimes I will tell you like, I don't think you should get involved with that.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah,
like I will tell you like, let that out. Like, you shouldn't entertain those talks. You shouldn't do that. But no, at the moment, I think I felt like, why are you trying to dictate what he does? But I think I did that because I usually try to do that, like push away the drama. Even with my family, you notice that I try not to get into details of like if something is happening. And I think that's why I was telling you to do that, because I was like, hey, if it affects you, it's going to affect me. So at the moment, I didn't reflect it that way. Like, I'm trying to protect.
No, that makes sense.
This.
Yeah.
It was in that kind of caused some problems at the beginning too.
Yeah, but overall, it's been actually better, because then you stop, like, the thing I should be worrying about is like my family, you, Dana, like, well, here, I shouldn't be worrying about, hey, what's going on with this and that, or being involved. Like,
in general, I think we should be not only preoccupied, but occupied on doing things better.
Yeah.
So I think that's, now I can put it into words. And before it was hard to me to put it into words, but I think that's always been my desire. Like, don't entertain that. Just, can you change something? Do it.
Yeah.
You can't.
I agree.
Yep. Anyways.
What else do you got?
So that was one of the questions. You will be doing the podcast maybe then?
I would be continuing it, and also doing more of like I don't think people would notice, but the streaming stuff. Okay. More playing video games. And it's not, I have a very different view on it than most people. I don't know if it's most people, because most people, I keep saying most. Some people will think video games like a waste of time, but I think that's like an older generation, because I don't think about it like that. There's also a competition. Like, I follow that stuff. And I don't like saying the thing, oh, what's that?
No. It's right. I think it has to be a balance.
I don't look at it like, I wouldn't say, I don't like the word gamer. I don't like that. Because anyone could play games, but the way I play, and I'm not like those.
You can play mind games.
But I don't play. I'm not like, oh, screaming this and that. No. I like yeah, you do Fortnite. I like for example, and it translates back to the childhood. Like, it's just something. I don't know if it's like escape. Nothing bad. I have a bad childhood, but it's something fun. It's, you're in a different world. And I'm gonna give like a few examples real quick. Something fun. When I was younger with my cousins, all that, like, we would play video games. We would play, like, so everyone knows Super Smash Brothers. It's fun. We go there, like, hey, we go there on Saturday, because that's what, we all went to my grandma's house and we played games. It was fun. Of course, not all the time. We're also outside, but it's fun. Or same thing, we play Pokemon. We battle each other. It's fun. It's great. Or when we played Rock Band during Christmas, you know, Rock Band is the drums, the guitar, the bass, the singing, and then you have like almost a whole family.
So
Stuff like
let
that.
me
It's fun.
interrupt you there. I think, and it's because I think I do it too. Like I will judge that as a bad thing if it was only you, but you're talking about involving like that community, like it was your family, but it still is that personal, like you are in community. It's not you on the basement 18 hours out of the day just playing a game.
Nah, it's not like that.
Like you use it as a way to have fun with others too. So I don't think that's bad. And I think because I see it bad when it's the other side. Like you don't talk to people, you don't take care of yourself, you eat whatever it is in there because you rather spend the time playing video games. But when there is a balance, I don't even think it's bad.
No,
Like I think the way you're describing it is a healthy way to approach video games.
you know what's I don't know if it's something similar. Because, for example, I'm just talking about like an older generation when they say, "Oh, you guys are wasting time playing video games," but it's also the same people that they go back home, like after work, and they're just watching TV. That's it. It's the same exact thing. It's when they say, "Oh, you're wasting time," but you're also wasting time watching, I don't know, the news or
No, I agree.
TV. See, you don't be judging.
Exactly.
But that's what I like. I really enjoy it.
But again, you can, or I will say, give your opinion when they ask for it.
Like what? What do you mean?
In general, like a good point to judge, or to stop yourself from judging people is who ask you. If nobody's asking you, you shouldn't even have an opinion on what others are doing with their life. Again, it's most like the way that you enjoy life. Not like you shouldn't be judging people that are killing some others. No, it's not that way.
Yeah.
It's like when it's nothing, they are not hurting others. Like if you have a strong personal opinion on their hobbies, just ask yourself, who asks you?
Yeah. On the topic of the video games, like you know how like people see like, for example, athletes, like just professional athletes, and they kind of like admire them and that's kind of cool what they do.
Or they get super upset when their team lost.
Yeah, but like so it's like I admire more people that play more of the competitive side video games, like because I remember this. It was after high school. So I'm not bragging or anything, but like me, so I played. If you saw me like in high school, or even like in my college days, so I still kind of look the same, but I played sports and I played video games, and usually in my school there was people like, I don't want to say the typical jocks, but like, you know, hey, people that are really into like sports. And then there's the people that, I don't know, they're kind of a little weird, and they're more into
in
like.
Mexico, we call them otakus.
Really? Mm-hmm. They're a little more,
They smell weird too.
Okay, that kind of happens. So me, I played sports, but I was very interested in like the video game stuff. I never interacted. So I just, and I was pretty, good with sports and everything. It was fun. And then after high school, because I would play like, with the people that like on my team or everything. I wanted to talk about video games and this and that, but usually they would talk about the Call of Duty and this and that. I'm like, no, I want to talk about more stuff. Like there's other things. And then after high school, I saw these. I went to a community college. They had a video game club, and I met a person. He was part of that group, and I started talking with him, and he introduced me. And I was like, over the whole thing, it was, these people are kind of awkward, but it was fun. Like they're
all
great.
Are kind of awkward in certain stuff.
Yeah, and then I was like, man, I should have hung out with these people. These people are great. But speaking about that, it's like, so I hung out with these people. They're great, amazing people. Nick, he has his own like company doing like voice acting and voice film direction. I saw
He's following his dreams.
Yeah, I see him. I'm like, he's cool. He's cool. And one of the guys, I think his name was Adam. I remember his haircut. He had like a mullet and like a mustache. It was kind of, and he wore like short shorts. But he was so cool. He was real cool because like we all went to play. There's a place called It's Pizza. It's like an arcade, and they had pizza.
Like Pizza Ranch?
Yeah, but more of an arcade. It's huge.
I don't know.
I'll take you one day. They said the pizza's not that great, but you'll understand why.
Okay.
But there's a game called, do you know Dance Dance Revolution?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a dancing game for an arcade. He like, have you ever seen like the professionals play it? Like the hardest thing. So he was like on it and he's like moving his feet like, it's like when people play Guitar Hero on Expert. That blew my mind. I was like, that is amazing. That is, I was like, I wish I had that skill. That was amazing. Or when my friend Nick, he was really into Super Smash Brothers, playing it competitive. See, I look at these details. I saw his movements, and I follow it online too. Like, you know, he's L canceling or he's dash dancing and this and that. I'm like, those are like, I want those skills. Even like now, I do it like right now. I was following, his name's Wolf Glick, so he's a competitive professional Pokemon player. Like because they do tournaments. It's VGC.
I don't understand why you don't like Ricardo. Because he's just like you.
Yeah, probably.
Like he's obsessed with Pokemon.
Yeah. See, I love that stuff. I could talk about that out for hours. And I'm not the general like, oh yeah, Pokemon this. I'm like, no. I like, there's the breeding, there's the IVs, the training. But like that stuff I like. That's why I like, back to the question, what I'll be doing probably the podcast and more the video games. Cause that's how I see video games. And especially like playing, like you mentioned about the community part. Yeah, there is a community, just like in everything. Like it could be sports, reading, math, whatever.
Yep. It's really important. We're made to be with community. We're not made to be by ourselves.
Yeah. But sometimes, one more thing, it's okay playing by yourself. Because I play like single player. Like, you know, you see me play God of War.
Yes.
Or Breath of the Wild.
What I mean is, there has to be that balance. Like, it's okay to have solo time. You know,
it's the same.
I love being by myself. Mm-hmm. I love my solo time. And this is funny because when we just got together, I will think you were that person.
I was more the introvert.
Yeah. And then the more I've been learning about, not only about you, but about like the types of personalities and like paying more attention to my feelings and how I feel. I am the kind of person that you wouldn't notice. I feel like weird between people because I talk too much, but then I get home and I'm exhausted.
Really?
I need to be like, I don't even want to talk to you.
See, I could be by myself though.
I want to be in my bed, just there by myself. And I feel like after being outside with a lot of people, even when you are like talking and doing everything, you are like nothing. Like you're cool. Let's do it again.
It's fun.
So I used to think you were like the introvert and I was extrovert, and then
now
the more, I don't think that's. I think it's different. Anyways,
what else do you got?
So this like that was more like on what you like to do. Now, this is more like entertainment and stuff. This question is a little bit more personal. So, what drives you? What is your why? Like, you know, I like to say we all have a why, like in our life, and it doesn't have to be a why forever. It can be your why right now. Like, what is that gives meaning to your life?
Man, you're going really deep on this stuff. I like it. I like that. Usually that's the stuff I always ask. My why, I would say not knowing like what's going to happen tomorrow. I find that exciting. Just like you know how usually people have, you know, they plan out everything, you know, and it's not a bad thing, but they plan out stuff. They want to go to plan, or they want to go accordingly. Usually I'm more like go with the flow. Like, of course I want my plan to work, but I always admit that, hey, it's never going to happen. How do we adapt to it? I find it cool. I like it because, you know, hey, what's going to happen tomorrow? Like, you know, if you would have told me, if I was, I don't know, for example, 8 years old right now, and be like, hey, you know, what's your life going to be like when you're 29? I'm 29, not 30. 29. I would have never said, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in South Dakota, almost in the middle of like nowhere, doing like a podcast,
freezing cold,
being married, in the cold, being married, and this and that. I would have never thought that. Like, I don't know, I guess my plan is, oh, I want to do this. But now I'm more of accepting, like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Also, because I appreciate, like, hey, this could be, and I think about this all the time. I think about a lot of stuff. And it's kind of weird because we mentioned, like, hey, can guys think of nothing?
Yeah, you can
Yes.
turn off your brain.
Yeah, I could turn it off, but I don't know if I am turning it off. Maybe I'm just thinking of something. But going back to it, I think, like, man, this could be like the last time, for example, this could be the last time I talk to you, because it's gonna happen with almost it's everyone. Because say if we don't find a cure for aging, Mark, I'm talking to you, then everyone's gonna die. But it's gonna happen. You're gonna have that last moment where you're gonna hug your wife, give her a kiss, see your kid, or like when now that, like say, people that have kids that are grown up, like when was the last time? Do you remember the last time you picked up your kid? Because there is going to be a moment where it might be, hey, that's going to be the last time, or like stuff like that. So I appreciate a lot of things because because it might be the last time. I don't know what's going to happen. So I do appreciate the stuff going on now.
And I think that's pretty good and that's cool because I don't like social media. And I have it, but mostly because I've been trying to do something about food. So I started the blog, didn't work. Well, it's not that it didn't work. It's most like I don't know how to code and I don't like it and I don't want to invest too much time on that. So I do have social media, but only like the necessary to kind of keep track of what I'm doing with food. Anyways, I think my most big information source is YouTube, and usually I wait until my favorite YouTuber say something about what's going on. So I don't like TikTok, for example. I didn't like it from the beginning. I don't like it now, and I don't think I ever going to like it. I've been noticing, and maybe it's just the YouTubers that I follow, that there is like a victim Olympics out there. Like everyone is trying to compete for who has the most effed up life.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's suffering the most. And that tires me so much. Like I feel like, man, the simple fact that you have the opportunity to put a camera in front of your face kind of reflects how much privilege you have in life. And you focus more on what is missing or what you didn't have growing up, on what hurt you the most. So for me, it's like we kind of should stop that and shift that. Instead of focusing on like, oh, my life has been worse. Because even in comedy, that I really like to consume a lot of comedy, they look down to people that haven't have like a bad life, like that haven't suffered. They are like, oh yeah, you had it perfect. What you are going to talk about? So I think we all have, as you say, we all have a story. We all had those really bad moments where you feel down, like you feel like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But we still have so much good things going on. So I kind of like that you mentioned, like trying to be grateful for what you have right now because you don't know when you are going to lose it. And I think, I don't know about you, and I don't know if most people, but I think, like at least in my life, I've been telling you, not every day, but a lot of times, I feel like I'm the happiest I ever been. And it's not like my problems disappear. It's just like I think I was focused too much on what was wrong, what was missing. And then you live in the past because, oh, I wish I had that. And you don't focus on the present, on what you have right now. So then the future comes and you look back and kind of think like, oh, I didn't appreciate that. Now I want that. So you never live in the present. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree on that. We are actually out of time.
Okay.
Because you got one more thing?
Yeah, I can just throw in that last question.
Got it.
So if you die tomorrow, what is your legacy? What is something you would like people to remember you for?
Wow, what?
That's the last one.
No, because when you were talking about being grateful and everything, I was thinking, man, what am I gonna say next? Because I swear, I was just thinking about this. Like, man, I was gonna say like, hey, appreciate everything because all this is not gonna matter because everyone's gonna like die, but maybe you want to leave like a legacy. You just mentioned that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap, she's reading my mind. She's my wife. I don't know. Like what? Say that again.
If you die tomorrow,
Mhm.
what is your legacy? What is something you would like or you want people to remember about you?
About me?
Yeah.
Wow. Usually I want to remember people. But I don't know. I never thought about that because I'm not an interesting guy. I don't think about what am I going to leave.
No, it's not about
behind.
what you're gonna live. Like, let's say you are able
Next.
to see yourself
Yeah.
in the casket. What would you like to hear people saying about you? What do you think you would like people to focus on what you did on your life?
Man. Let's see. I would say, I don't know. I just want people to, I don't know, remember me. I don't know because I feel like I'm different. I could be different with someone else.
But
Maybe
I say, if you die tomorrow,
if I die tomorrow.
who you think is going to
Oh.
be in your funeral?
You and Nana.
Only
And
us? That's an empty funeral.
my mom and dad. Well, I want people to remember me as, I don't know, maybe someone that's changed. 'Cause I look back sometimes, I'm like, man, there's some stuff that I done that's not that great. But I think everyone has like that second chance. So I want people to remember me that, hey, he's changed. He's a nice guy. Everyone deserves second chances. I
Good.
think so.
That's it.
Sweet. Well,
Cool,
do you got any last things or last words?
Are you gonna kill me?
No, but I usually ask
No,
that. But if not, we can end it.
I do. So we're selling fruit. I don't know when this is going to go out, but we are selling fruit for the 4-H building. If you know Jose or know me or Victoria, I can send a link. You can pay by check, by card, doing the order online. I can send you the link and you can post it to people that know us. And we will deliver the fruit around March 20th. So the sale ends on March 2nd. The fruit is amazing. We got a chance to get a box last year, and even like the beef jerky,
it was pretty good.
So good. So that's really good. And also, I'm trying to work on my food, kind of better my pictures, and I haven't posted any recipes yet, but I have an Instagram and a Facebook where I like to post like.
Where can they find you at? I'll put the links and everything
so
too.
In Instagram, I think my handle is tamal de salsa verde, but my name is Mayra Rios.
Yeah.
And Instagram and Facebook, and it looks like a personal social media. It's not. I don't post anything about my life. I usually don't like to do that. So it's mostly about food. So if you like food and you want to see what I do, follow me. It's nothing fancy. And also, I think that's it. I just wanted to kind of do this episode a little bit more about you because I feel like you've been letting people know other people outside. And I think it's just fair that people that like to follow your podcast kind of know you a little better too.
Okay, no worries.
So yay!
Hey, we could do this again. I like it. Just discussing. It'll be fun.
Yep.
Let's see.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
Peace.